All right, we'll start on the docket. I don't know if this is Star Wars related, but John Boyega was recently on a documentary called Number One on the Call Sheet, Black Men Leading in Hollywood. And says he has some things to say about his time in the Star Wars realm. And he has a quote saying, "Let me tell you, Star Wars has always had the vibe of being the most whitest elite space. It's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something." Boyega says in the documentary, "You can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Landon Calrissian, sorry, and Samuel L. Jackson, and it's like telling me how many cookie chips are in the cookie dough. It's like they're just scattered out there, bro." Then he said he was cast as a stormtrooper in Star Wars: The Force Awakens in 2015. His initial appearance in the trailer for the film sparked an immediate hostile backlash, which included racial animosity. He reprised the role in The Last Jedi and Rise of the Skywalker. "They're okay with us playing the best friend, but once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much. They're pandering," he continued, acknowledging that being cast as Finn was a fundamental moment for his career at that time. So this is the first time that he's actually come out and spoken about his experiences in Star Wars. Most notably, he was in the GQ interview in 2020. But in that interview, 2 years later, in the Hollywood Report, he opened up about a very transparent conversation with a Disney executive. Didn't name him. They gave him a chance to explain that what his experience was like, and he thanked them for being so open about his career at that stage. But I wanna open this conversation to you, D. Based off of that, I really want to watch this documentary to get the full context of what was said. But based off of this, what I'm going to give you the floor. What were your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I just think it's like sour grapes, man. I just think that the guy is kind of pretty much pissed off that his career didn't go further than what he did, to be honest. I mean, when you talk about Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian, and then you talk about Samuel L. Jackson who played Mace Windu, those were two big characters in Star Wars, okay? If you remember, The Empire Strikes Back is when you first see Lando, right? Lando is the one who allowed Han Solo to be captured by Darth Vader to then give it, to Boba Fett, okay? Also, when you talk about Samuel L. Jackson playing Mace Windu, that was in the sequel trilogy, and from day one, he was a main character in the sequel trilogy. He wasn't like cast aside as the best friend. No, he was a high-ranking Jedi Master on the Jedi Council. He was the one who took when Anakin went to the dark side. He was the one that took it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it here. I think what the problem is here, honestly, is I think that he has grievances, and the grievances that's being pointed out, it's going to the wrong people. You're trying to go after the fans for Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm sidelining you. They chose to do that, just like they chose Disney to shrink you down on the poster for China. That was all their decisions. So don't come at the fan base, white, black, brown, whoever, by saying that, oh, well, you know, when we get close to, we could be the best friend, but we close to your heroes, there's a problem. My guy, the trailer was all about you when it first came out. I remember because that was the first ever Star Wars movie I ever saw in the theater because I came on the bandwagon late. Okay. That was the first one I saw. And when I first saw it, I'm like, oh shit, we get this dude's a stormtrooper. And he's supposed to be going basically to the rebellion, whatever. Cool story. It was a bait and switch though, because that's when they put in the Ray character and it went from there. And also, let's put it like this: John Boyega had an opportunity to walk away. He had a choice. He didn't have to come back for the Last Jedi. He did not have to come back for the Rise of Skywalker. He did come back though. So don't come up here saying the same shit over and over again about how this happened to you and that happened to you Talk to Captain Kennedy about that. Talk to Ryan Johnson about that. Talk to J.J. Abrams about that. Talk to him about how the original plan got sidetracked because the Force was female. Bruh. That's what it is. And I used to be one of these people, straight up. One of these people that say, black people don't watch Star Wars. That's what I thought. Until I actually watched it and I fell in love with the franchise to what it is now. And then I would go back and look at the videos of people at the movie theaters back in the day waiting to go watch A New Hope. It's just called Star Wars at the time, but waiting to go watch A New Hope. And then waiting to go watch The Empire Strikes Back. And then waiting to go watch Return of the Jedi. And then you see what they did during the prequel trilogy. So I don't know, man. I just that kind of grinds my gears a little bit because you're really blaming the wrong people, bro. You need to be talking to Captain Kennedy about why she sidelined you because it was all up to her. At the end of the day, a director and the writers can come up with a story. She has to be the one that's going to approve it, and she's going to come in there and change some shit. So apparently, they may have had a different story for him in those movies, and they didn't do it. Same thing that Adam Driver talked about with Kylo Ren. The story changed. Ray, Daisy Ridley talks about all the time how they never had a plan for Ray. She didn't even know who the hell she was. At first she was going to be a Kenobi, and then they changed it. Then she's a Palpatine. She didn't know. So I think the guy's just making noise at the wrong people, bro. And don't get me wrong, I do think there was some racial shit at the time, absolutely, from a small minority of ignorant motherfuckers. There probably was that shit going on. I'm not going to deny that. There was. But the majority of the fan base has stuck with him saying Finn should have been the star, Finn should have been the Jedi. That is what's been going on consistently. And to come out now and talk about how everybody's toxic is just bullshit, bro. I don't agree with that. And that's just my feelings on it.
Now I'm going back to what he said and looking at exactly what's printed, what he said. I don't think he was aiming. I think he was aiming at the fans that were having some of the racial things to say. It's kind of pointed in that direction. Again, I haven't seen the documentary. I do want to watch it just to get the context of it. But it does appear that he is aiming in that direction of there was some racial backlash because it was at that time.
Oh yeah, just like there was racial backlash to Billy D. Williams. I'm pretty sure there was. There's always been that ignorant small group of dumb motherfuckers out there. Nobody's denying that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one's denying it. But don't come out and say like don't come out and say everybody, bro, because there's a lot of people out there, a lot of white people that went to bat for you, homie, all the time. They went to bat for you, straight up. So that's kind of like I would kind of stay away from that, especially if you want to come back and do another one, possibly. You can't be doing that, bro, because you're gonna turn your audience off.
I'm almost wondering if he signed on for all three under one contract.
That could be very well the case. Yeah, that could be the case. I'm not knocking that, but at the same time, you knew the script of The Force Awakens. You knew where they were going with that, but he looked strong in that movie.
He did.
But then at the end of the day, Ray was the one at the end fighting Kylo Ren. So it's kind of like you kind of knew some bullshit was going on here. Some bullshit was afoot because look what they did to you. So I listen. I understand how he feels when you're promised this and you're given this. I understand what he's saying. I get that part. But what I'm saying is, bro, is don't knock the entire fan base. Okay, I know you're talking about the white. You're talking about the white ones. That's what you're talking about. That's what he's saying. Don't knock the entire fan base, especially ones that went to bat for you, the ones that held you down. Because there's been a lot of white people that held you down, bro. I see this shit all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, man.
No, I get that. I think just reading this, I would say he was aiming it at the people that were being racist. I would read it and say that.
Very well could be the case.
But I would aim that also because he doesn't. I would aim this also at the studio because they put him in that role. I agree with you on that. There needs to be some kind of accountability, which in this article he references He did have a conversation with an executive. We don't know who that is, but I would think if he had that big of a problem, because he was outspoken about this shit, and how he felt like he was treated in the movie, and his career hasn't been the same since then. So
No, he didn't. He listen. He didn't do anything, and truth be told, neither did Daisy Ridley.
no, I
He
think
did nothing.
the last thing I seen him in was a Netflix movie called They
Could be.
Clone Tyrone. That's the last thing I've seen him in.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I don't know. I don't. I honestly don't keep up with him up until this article came out that everybody was talking about. So I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, like, because you know how I am with Star Wars, man. So I had to come up here and talk about this and just like I understand his frustration. You know, I'll say this. Um, Ahmed Best played Jar Jar Binks in the prequels. Okay, you know he went through a lot of bullshit too because a lot of people didn't like that character, but he got redeemed in the Mandalorian as
yeah,
Jedi Master Kelleran Beck. He's the one who saved Grogu. Okay. So he got redeemed and now he's like getting all this love and he's getting accepted now and he wants to do more stuff in Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Hayden Christensen. A lot of people didn't like Hayden Christensen. People said that Star Wars, whatever
Oh no,
career
a
he
lot of
had.
people shat on those
Yeah.
the first three
Yeah.
movies, the
Yeah.
prequels.
Yeah.
People shat on them heavily,
Oh hell
man.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's like they're getting his love now. So hopefully Finn gets a redemption story. There was there was something there at the end there with Finn in the Rise of Skywalker that they could have built upon. And I would have loved it if Finn would have been like the long lost son of Lando or some shit. I thought that would have been kind of cool.
That'd have been cool.
You know what I mean? Or he has force because there's something with Finn having force abilities. It's obvious when he got this the when he held Anakin's lightsaber in the Force
Yeah,
Awakens.
yeah,
There's something there. They just didn't do it, man. So hopefully, I will say hopefully John Boyega gets a redemption story. I would like to see that. I would like to see him get a redemption. I would like to see him be that Jedi that he was supposed to be.
absolutely,
So, I'm not knocking the brother.
absolutely.
I'm just knocking what he got to say, but I'm not knocking him. Like I would like to see him get redeemed. Everybody gets a redemption story. I think he deserves one.
Me too. Absolutely. All right, man. Let's move on. Let's move on. We got a promo we got to talk about.
Whoa! 1 second. Hold on a
Go
second.
ahead.
Yeah. So, did you see the trailer today for Star Wars: Tales of the Underworld?
I have not watched that yet.
Yeah.
I
So
need
it's
to.
just, yeah, it's just, so basically there it's kind of similar following the trope of Tales from the Jedi and Tales from the Sith or Tales from the Empire was the
Mm.
last one. Same thing. It's going to be two stars, two bounty hunters, Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and people say all the time when Asajj like
How they gonna put what are they? Is this like a fill in the timeline thing?
this is she looks the same as she did in fucking what was it the Bad Batch.
Yeah,
So
but Cad Bane's in this too, right?
he is, but I think this might be something that happened before, because he's like
Yeah,
I said,
that's why I'm asking.
yeah, probably, yeah, because these are
Because they
tales. Because
fucked
he
up and
died.
killed him. Yeah,
Yeah,
they killed him in the Mandalorian.
yeah,
I mean, not Mandalorian, the
Boba
Book
Fett.
of Boba Fett. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like,
fucking assholes.
yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, it's kind of funny because people say all the time, why can't Star Wars move past that timeline? Like, they can't because that
They
timeline
can't.
makes money. There's a lot of stories in that timeline. When Asajj Ventress, shit, bro, that's the strong female character we talk about, right? There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
We need to bring Asajj Ventress to live action too.
yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah,
That definitely needs to
yeah.
happen.
So see the trailer, bro. But that's all I got to say on the Star Wars front today.
All right,
Yes, sir.
dope.